And so I suffered for 2 years trying to birth the business, birth the baby for 2 years with a company that I had helped found. And my why was someone has to tell women that they can have it all, but maybe not at all at the same time, or maybe it's not one size fits all. What works for me may or may not work for you. And there were no resources then. So that's when I started helping women live their dreams, but not sacrifice what matters to them.
Welcome to the Be She podcast. Be seen, be heard, be empowered. I am so excited to be talking to my guest today. We have chatted many times before. Well, not many, but a few times before. And I already adore this woman. She's amazing. Her energy, she lights up a room when she walks through it, whether it's virtually or in person. I haven't met her in person, but I do know just from meeting her virtually that if she was to walk in the room, I'd know her instantly and I'd want to be connected with her. So I know you're going to feel the same way. So without further ado, I can't wait to just introduce you to Linda Albright with Albright AI. So welcome, Linda, to the Be She podcast.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here because my passion is women and
Yes.
lifting us up, because when we are lifted up, the world improves. So I'm thrilled to be here. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I think that's one of the reasons we connected so easily because your passion radiates through with everything you do, whether it's in your business or just in with women in general. And I know you have a history of helping women in a different aspect of what you're doing now, and we can get to all of that. Linda, before we dive in, I'm just going to give everybody a brief introduction about you, and then I'll start with the questions. Does that sound good?
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. So Linda Albright is an early adopter entrepreneur, passionate about disruptive technologies that transform the way we work and live. With a background spanning Web 1, 2, 3, and now AI, she's helped scale multiple startups and played a key role in securing millions in Series A and seed funding. Today, she helps hardworking entrepreneurs and startup CEOs navigate the noise and confusing AI landscape so they can cut costs, save time, boost profits, and stay ahead of the competition. Certified in AI strategy, implementation, and data science, Linda combines practical expertise with a deep understanding of business growth. When she's not in the AI trenches, you'll find her on the yoga mat, defying gravity and handstands, and teaching others how to stay flexible in mind and body. So, Linda, share with us, you pivoted and you've done a number of different things. And I'd love for you to share where you started and where you are now, because I know the journey, but my listeners don't. How you got to where you are now and doing what you're doing. Is this something that you decided because this has been part of your personal transformation or your business transformation? Or is this something that you were like, oh my gosh, I'm just passionate about it. It's the thing that's happening now. I want to learn more. And this is how you got started.
Great question. I actually think it's both. So
Okay.
isn't it wonderful when your path sort of follows your passion and vice versa?
Yeah.
So as that sort of wordy bio that I provided for you says, I've been smitten by technology that changes our lives for my entire 30-year career. So the terms Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, what are those? It doesn't matter what those mean. It's just the different incarnations of when the internet arrived or when blockchain showed up and now AI arrives. And for some reason, I'm calibrated to what's coming down the pike, the highway, and I jump on it and I have a blast. And then I like to share it with people I like so that they can also benefit. So it's been a decades long career in doing that. And honestly, like a couple of post COVID, I actually went and got some jobs, like really high level positions with other startups, and realized I am hireable, but I don't like working for other people. So I went back into entrepreneurship. So I've been on my own for years, and I play in the sandbox of new tech, and I try and share it with other people. And a big chunk of my career, as you know, Heidi, was I ran the Women's Wealth Revolution, which was dedicated strictly to helping women entrepreneurs make more money. Because when you make more money, the world improves. And that's not just like a wish, that's statistically proven. When women have money, we handle it differently than men do.
Mm.
And so it's been my passion and still is just to help women rise. And along with that sort of practical business, technical stuff is the inner journey of spiritual awakening, spiritual awareness. As you know, Heidi, I'm a licensed yoga teacher and a trained spiritual counselor. So I'm this weird combo of
Yeah.
tech and spirituality.
Yeah, which we don't see much. Usually tech is very like one side of the brain. I'll just share for me. I'm very visionary, very creative, and I'm like, okay, I come up with an idea, make it happen. And my team's like, well, wait a minute, we've got to do all this A B. I'm like, I don't know how you're going to get there. Just like, let's do it, right?
Yeah.
And you have both sides of that, which is really, really cool. So for you listening, if you are one-sided like me and the tech overwhelms you, Linda's definitely your woman because she's going to be able to be in tune with your vision and everything you want to create on top of how to implement that and make it super simple. Like she shared in her bio, she increases the productivity, increases the revenue, increases all of that by simplifying the process to get there through AI. So
Wait,
Linda,
Heidi, I will
go ahead.
jump in there and say I am
Yeah.
actually, my first career was in the art world as a trained art
Wow.
historian and in the museum world. So that is baked into me. The whole bro code, bro tactics, push, push, nah, we have to do it our way. So I just wanted to throw that in there. I'm an artist at heart.
No, I love that. So, can you share with us, Linda, some of the challenges that you faced? So, what did you do before? Talk deeper into that a little bit, or you don't have to go deep, deep, but share what you did before, because I know you've had a big pivot and share with us why, because I love the why. The why is really important to me because I was a business strategy coach. You were in coaching. We know how important that why is when we're going, especially when we're starting something new. In order to stay focused and stay driven into that, we have to be connected with our why. And for the listeners, for those of you who have been with me for a while, my why has always been I wanted to be home with my kids. I came from divorce. That's the only reason I'm in business now. I was a stay-at-home mom. So that drove me into going, okay, what am I going to do? And I did work two jobs. I could have stayed that 9 to 5 route, but it wasn't fulfilling, just like you shared. You went back, but it just wasn't fulfilling. There was still a tug on your heart. And luckily for all of us, you listened to it. And it doesn't mean it's easy, right? Doesn't mean it's like, okay, I followed my heart and boom, I'm successful. That never happens, honestly, if we're going to get real. So, can you share with us a little bit about your journey and the why behind it that keeps you going when it's not sugar coated with cupcakes and rainbows and things like that? Because when it gets hard for me, my kids are 16 and 14. I still want to be home with them. That
Yeah,
why still drives
yeah.
me, but that's going to pivot, right? As they get older, my why has to change. Otherwise, it's not going to be as motivating to keep going. So, can you share your why
Absolutely.
with
And
us?
I
Yeah.
don't think I've shared this with you yet.
Yeah.
My why was very similar to yours. So there I was standing in front of an investment panel to try and raise several $1 million, which was a lot back then, to get this .com off the ground that no one had ever heard of. No one had heard of .coms.
Yeah.
This is how long ago it was. And I was 5 months pregnant with my first child.
Wow.
And I hid the fact that I was pregnant because I'm like, who's going to want to give us tons of money when I'm about to drop my first baby? So we got the money, we launched the business, but here's my why. In the same 2 weeks, I had my first child and we launched the business.
Wow.
And I lost my mind because nobody teaches women how to be out in the world and make it and be powerful and be a good mom at the same time. And so I suffered for 2 years trying to birth the business, birth the baby for 2 years with a company that I had helped found. And after which point I stepped back and I took more of a part-time role. And eventually we sold the company. And so I was able to kind of get out. And my why was someone has to tell women that they can have it all, but maybe not at all at the same time, or maybe it's not one size fits all. What works for me may or may not work for you. And there were no resources then. So that's when I started helping women live their dreams, but not sacrifice what matters to them. And it's true to this day. It really is. So that is my why.
I love your why. And I think that's really powerful because there's women listening going, okay, I have this dream on my life, on my heart, but I don't even know how to get there or even how to share it with with the people closest to me. And I think for most women, and I'm not going to say all because we're all different. For many women, being a mom does become really, really an important role. And we carry that mom guilt. How can I do it all? How can I juggle all the hats? How can I be there for my spouse and my partner, also for my kids? What if I am gone so many hours or I'm traveling and I'm not home with the kids? Am I hurting them in the long run? And I learned along the way, like, yes, I work a lot of hours. My daughter recently said to me, why didn't you just do the 9 to 5, mom? Because you do work a lot of hours. And I'm like, because I still have big goals and vision. It hasn't come to me so quick. Yes, I'm not where I want to be, but I know if I keep going and things are changing and shifting and my business is growing exponentially, especially in the last, I would say 6 months or so, and I'm excited about it. But there's still more to come. And I also want to show my kids, if you have a dream or a goal, go for it. And it doesn't have to look like anybody else's, and it's
No,
okay. And if it
not at
doesn't
all.
make sense to anybody else, even me, it's okay. I want you to go for it because that's important to you. And if it doesn't work out, it's okay. You still have a place to land, right? I think
Absolutely.
that's so important. So tell us about Albright AI. Who do you serve? What does it do? How does it help? And also, what are some of the challenges that you faced in this launching of this new business and this pivot?
Yeah, no, great questions. So what I do now is I break down the very scary, complicated world of AI, and I help good, visionary, soul-filled entrepreneurs adapt and integrate it because I actually hate saying this, but it is the truth. If you don't, your competitor will, and they will win, and you will not. It is so clear to me being in the tech space for 25 years. And so my mission is to help the good-hearted entrepreneurs at least get on the path and then help them adapt. Because as you've probably seen on my website, I know, Heidi, it's like, do you want to be Blockbuster or do you want to be Netflix? We are at this inflection point as a society, and I've never seen a tech revolution like this one. And I've seen them all, but this is intense. So it's all going to shift. So my mission is still the same. I've just gotten a little more in the technical realm. And then what was the other question you asked? You asked kind of a
What are
two.
some challenges that you faced
Oh,
in like literally you pivoted, right?
yeah.
You decided to go all in on,
Yep.
I'm so excited. I'm knocking my mic around. You literally decided to go all in on AI. You dove deep. You found a mentor that could teach you it. And now you've launched this incredible business. So you've had to have faced challenges. And so what are those
Oh, yeah.
challenges and how did you overcome them?
Well, it's the same challenge. Thank you. It's the same challenge I've had in the past, which is I can see what people need and I can see how to solve it,
Hmm.
but they don't yet know that they have a problem. So this is basic sales and marketing. You have to sell to people the pain that they're in and the solution that they're looking for, not the one that you're going to. So closed down Women's Wealth Revolution after 10 years, took a little break, came back and did this AI agency. And even though I used to teach sales and marketing and business models, it's the same basic building blocks that I have skipped over. And if you skip over any of them, it's harder.
Yeah.
So, and also, to be quite frank, I've opened it up to, not that I'm against men, but I've opened it up to male clients. And I'm stumbling with that a little bit because my heart is with women. And I have this belief, and I would love for all of you to prove me wrong. I have this belief that there are not enough women entrepreneurs who are ready for the AI revolution. And so for my business to thrive, I need to open it up. When the badass move would just be I'm AI for women, like I was before.
Right.
So those fundamental decisions in building a business still trip me up. And whenever I'm stuck or things are slow, I know it's a fundamental thing I've skipped over. So it doesn't matter how long you've been doing this, you still make mistakes, still learning the same lessons and then some new ones.
Yeah. And it's interesting that you said that women sometimes aren't always ready, especially with the AI revolution. And I'll raise my hand. I was part of those women crew until recently. So we do AI too in our business, and it's important. It's not.
You
It's
have to.
imperative. It's
You have to.
imperative.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a non-negotiable at this point. And last year, I would say when it really hit the coaching space was probably in the last year and a half, and it could be 2 years now. I just feel like I'm thinking it really gets so soon, not that far far in the past, I really pushed it off. I'm like, I don't know. And I'm not ready to embrace that. Let me see what happens. Let's take this slow. And there's no way around it anymore. If you cannot take it slow, because when you take it slow, it's already increased and expanded
Dizzying.
exponentially.
It's
By the
dizzying.
time within the next 2 weeks, it'll be different than it is today. In the next 2 years, it will look completely different than it looks today. And the thing that I want for all of you listening is, if you don't have this information, please take it. You must get on board or you'll be left behind, because it's not going away. It's ever changing and evolving. But I also want you to know you don't need to know everything about it. By the time
No,
you
that's what
try
I'm
and
here
learn,
for.
yeah, that's what Linda's there for. By the time you want to try and learn it all, it's already expanded and moved on. So the thing is, you just need to learn a little bit, let it be useful for the things that you need it to be useful for: productivity, efficiency, research. That's what I love it for. I love it for research, productivity, making my life easier, making everything happen quicker, and also researching those things I need to learn or know more about, including my ideal client, including what offerings could I be offering that's out there. I mean, still, market research is still important, right, Linda? We still need to
Absolutely.
get in deep. We have to learn from our ideal client where they're at, because their needs sometimes change. And if we're not in tune with that, we're missing the boat. But let AI help you along that process. So let's talk about fear, because empowerment. And you were empowered to join this tech revolution as a woman, which you said a lot of women are feeling still like they're not ready for this. You were like, I'm diving head first, full on in. You're neck deep. You're like, I'm not even going knee deep. I'm going all the way in.
It's how I roll.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I love.
Better or worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Were there any fear that you had to move through and navigate, and mindset shifts that you had to make? And what were they, and how did you do it?
Well, it's funny. I think that this the same fears that a lot of women share. First, I want to address the fear of AI. So, as you know, Heidi, I'm a very committed practicing yogini.
Mhm.
So, I grappled with AI can be bad. It in the wrong hands, yes, we should fear it. And by the way, I do know that one of the reasons women have been leaning away from AI is because of our women's instinct, which is like that stuff could be bad. I don't want anything to do with it. So 100% honoring the women's intuition. That said, if the good people stay away from it, only the bad people will get on top. So there is a fear of AI. And because I'm in the trenches with it, sometimes it's like, wow, whoa. The world we're about to enter is just so different than this. So there's just fear in the space. There's fear of failure. There's fear of looking stupid. There's just all these fears. But when you have that inner strength, or at least the strength is in there, if you can use a tool or two to bring it out, then you can overcome them. So one of the recent ones is, as a woman in the space and as an older woman in the space, right? I am not your tip. I am not 25 years old and from MIT, right? So
Right.
I'm somebody who's wacky with a smattering of experiences and art history and a certain vintage. So I've been in meetings with men thinking, I wonder if are they gonna recognize that I have value? What I'm gonna say, is it gonna sound outdated? Like, oh, it's always internal stuff.
Mhm.
So I'm just constantly doing the work every day,
Yeah.
especially when I feel stuck or things aren't moving. It's like, okay, go inside, go inside, go inside. It's so easy to look out there for answers. What's the latest system? What's the latest guru telling me? It's usually a man. It's usually about pushing. It's usually bro code stuff. It's like, nope, nope. Thank you for sharing. Not going there. So,
Yeah. You mentioned a word that I think is really important, especially for us women, is pushing. And I've done that, where I've tried to push a square peg into a round hole. Actually, this podcast is a product of not trying to push a square peg into a round hole. Because when I started this podcast, the one reason I was starting it is because I created a vision board, and I was like, oh, what do I want to create in 2022? And I think it was 2022. And I was like, oh, I'll start a podcast. Well, I guess I didn't look at my vision board for over the course of the year, because November came and I was like, oh, I have this podcast on there that I wanted to start. How can I make this happen? And I just met someone who was a podcast producer the month before. And she was like, absolutely, we can make it happen by the end of the month. And she was like, we need a name. We need a target audience. And I'm like, well, I'm a mom and I want to talk to moms and I'm a female entrepreneur, but I'm a business coach, but I don't really want to talk into business coaching all the time. I really want to talk to mompreneurs. So I was leaning toward completely different target market and also a different name. And then but something held me back. So I really love that you said the word pushing, because I want you listening, going, listen, if something's not matching up, listen to your inner gut. That's one thing as women we have, that our intuition that men don't necessarily have. I think they have it. It's not, they're just not in tune with it. And that's probably a whole nother conversation. We need to bring a man and a female into this conversation and have that panel. Maybe you can come back for that, Linda.
Yeah.
It's important that we listen to that and not try to push forward all the time. I'm happy that you shared that. What was the reason, Linda, that you made the pivot? What inspired you to go from what you were doing before to what you're doing now? There's another topic I want to talk into too that I think is really important, because you embody so much of being seen, being heard, being empowered, that I want to make sure while I have you, we're touching on all the different things. But pivoting can be very scary for women or for anyone. But especially if there's a woman sitting at home right now listening and say they're a mom and they have this vision or this dream on their heart, but they're scared to go for it. What was it why did you take the leap? And I mean, this was a big pivot for you. You told me, you shared with us, you took a break. So why did you leave what you were doing before, take the break, and then make this leap into here? And how did you move through any of those possible complications or fears that were showing up for you at that time?
Great question. I'll see if I could be succinct. So the Women's Wealth Revolution was in its ninth or 10th year. It was going well. We decided, and we'd been only virtual with a couple of client retreats over the years. We decided, we being my former business and life partner, to buy a piece of property up in the state of Maine. We were sailors. We had a boat. We bought a work-life structure that we were converting to be a retreat center. And we were very excited to offer more in-person leadership coaching stuff. And we got it all retrofitted. We did a couple of pilot tests with some clients, and we were getting ready to open it in March 2020. So,
Oh boy. Yeah.
so not only did I suffer as everyone else did during COVID lockdowns, everything fell apart. My father passed away, who I'd cared for 8 of his final 10 years. My life and business partner, that blew up. The business kind of blew up because we had these plans. So I came back, I moved away and licked my wounds and said, okay, Linda, what's next? Now, at the same time, my kids' life stage was changing. So I have 3 kids, and they were all sort of either ending high school or going off to college. And so I thought, that 10-year run of that business was perfect for that life stage. See, we women think about this, right? I could keep it, we did very well, but I kept it, I didn't grow it to the level that my colleagues could do who didn't have kids. I kept it at a level that was manageable. So fast forward, that whole plan blew up. I've got a blank slate, and all of a sudden I'm going to be an empty nester. It's like, ooh, after taking care of 3 kids, a divorce, a father, a business, oh my goodness, a partner, it was finally my turn. So I went, okay, what would really be fun? And so it just all came together like it does, like the new tech, which is, I wouldn't have had the bandwidth for AI 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It's like a spouse, like it's so consuming.
Yeah.
It just can eat you alive. And I also wanted to shift from a coaching business, which is about sort of taking care of people, to a consulting business, which is pay me for my expertise, because I'm just in that life stage. So that was kind of the evolution of my current chapter.
Thank you for sharing all of that, because that's huge. I think women, or just people in general, we can see things as, oh my gosh, they're happening to me. How am I going to navigate this? And you're like, oh, I'm an empty nester. A lot of women will take that as like, oh my God, I'm an empty nester. Like, what am I going to do now? And you're like, this is my turn. This is exciting. And you saw it as the world opening up and all the possibilities for you. And I think that's so beautiful, because every chapter has that. And it's a matter of what we choose to see it as. Do we choose to see it as, oh my gosh, what's next, in the fear? Or do we choose to see it as, oh my gosh, this is amazing, and what doors and possibilities are there out there for me?
Well,
And AI can be scary. It is,
yep.
it's scary for a lot of us, especially if you're new to the AI space. But you dove off that diving board, you went all in, and I think you're such an inspiration. And I'm so honored to have you here
Thank you.
sharing
Thank
your
you. I
journey
will
with
say,
you.
back in
Yeah.
my crazy days of the just taking care of everybody and their mother or father, I did read Eat, Pray, Love, which many women have read.
Yeah.
And it was in my heart that someday I'm going to launch my Eat, Pray, Love chapter. And I
Yeah.
think, Heidi, I just returned from what
You,
was supposed to be 4 weeks, but turned into 5 weeks of living in Italy, where I had intended to do. And so check that off the bucket list. And it's leading to a whole series of things I'm excited about. So,
yeah.
like I said in the beginning, we can have it all. Just sometimes for me, it's not all at the same time, right?
Yeah.
So just being patient, just hard for me. But
Yeah, I think that's another great point. There's so many gold nuggets here, ladies, for you listening. Just you better be writing this down or come back and listen again because there's so much gold here. You can have it all. It's everything is possible for you. It's a matter of releasing the timeline. I've got things on my plate that I want this, I want this. This is my goal. This is my dream. And Linda, I love that you just shared that because I was just saying to myself the other day that I get to start writing them down more and speaking them more vocally out into the world because recently, for the first time ever, I feel like all of it's possible. All of it's there in my reach. It's just a matter of letting go of when I expect to have it. Because when we let go of those expectations, it actually, the timeline speeds up. And the universe and God, whatever you believe in, allows those people to come in and start showing people in your life, even if they're not there to help you in that moment, they're just a stepping stone to that next person. That's what's happening in my life right now. I can see it. And yeah, it's so exciting. So let's talk about your woman making things happen. You're pivoting, you are embracing the empty nesting. You just spent 5 weeks in Italy, which is, I think, phenomenal. All of us should do it. So you're listening. I invite you to make a list of where you want to go, what you want to do, be inspired by Linda and see what's possible for you. You're shared with me behind the scenes. Your son is home for the summer and he's in his senior year of college.
yeah.
So you are truly like everybody's growing up and yeah, and you're like, yes, everybody's evolving and growing. And so self-care, let's talk about that dirty word a little bit because for women that can be challenging. So how did you not only juggle all the hats, but make sure that you were taking care of you? Because you did go to Italy. That's something that most women would be like, I gotta wait. Like I gotta put everybody, you said you took care of everybody, including their mother, father. You did it all. So how are you now making sure that Linda is taken care of and prioritized?
Thank you. I think it's a muscle we build over time, right? And some phases in life we have more time for it than others. I have a wonderful amount of time now. So for me, it's always been yoga practice or spiritual practices. It could be meditation, it could be journaling, it could be, what we know what those are, right? Eating healthy foods, things like that. Self-care is huge because if we, especially for women,
Mm.
when we forget to take care of ourselves and put our own oxygen mask on, we not only don't have much to give to others, but we get out of balance and then we lose our power. And when we lose our power, the world gets out of balance and then we see what happens with the world. So it needs to be number one on the list, but it's really hard to do. It is really hard to do. I think because we're trained as women to take care of other people. So, and it comes naturally, right?
Right.
Elizabeth Gilbert, the author of Eat, Pray, Love, has a wonderful YouTube. Now, I invite people to research. I wish I could remember the name of it, but it's about the sacred feminine and the sacred masculine and the profane feminine and the profane masculine. And it's about the balance of those energies and how when we try to become more nurturing, it throws us out of balance. We actually need to have more boundaries,
Oh,
which brings us in balance. Whereas men aren't really brought up to be nurturers, so they're brought up to go hunt and gather. So if they become more nurturing, that they're balanced. But if we wake up being nurturers and then we're told to be more nurturing to other people, we just, so it's a very awkward way to explain it. I invite everybody to go look at it, but that really drives it home that
yeah.
oxygen mask first because we are so freaking talented. We're
Right.
so creative. We have got the yin and the yang and the male and the feminine and the masculine and feminine. And when we're out of balance, the whole world loses. So It starts
Yeah.
right here. It really does.
Yeah. So good. So good. So, Linda, how can we connect with you? How can people find you? And also learn more about Albright AI and what you can do for them.
Thank you. Two ways to find me. LinkedIn. I don't do any other channels. I just made a decision a long time ago.
That's boundaries. Boundaries.
Boundaries, only so many hours in a day. When I got into 15 years ago, you could do it all. Now it's ridiculous. So LinkedIn, just Linda Albright, or my website, which is albrightai.com. And find my contact information and just email's the best. Just email me. And if it's just a woman who's at a crossroads, I will talk to anybody, any heartfelt visionary woman who just needs support. Because I no longer do personal coaching, but I love to support women. So just reach out. Any way I can help. And if you want AI tips and strategies or an AI consultation, I do those for free as well. So
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely take Linda up on her AI consultation. Learn more about how this can help you, whether you have a business or you have a dream on your heart that you want to launch a business. AI is needs to be a part of it. It's a necessity inside of your business. It's not an option anymore. It has to be there. So definitely talk to her about that, what that looks like, whether you're just thinking about launching or you have something in place. And maybe I'm overstepping, Linda, but I, like you said, ask me
Yeah,
questions, come
absolutely.
talk to her. And
Yeah.
Linda's amazing. Like I said, this is not my first time talking with her. We have another podcast. I've talked with her about that. Through that one as well, where she gave business tips. So you can check her out on the Business Growth Spotlight podcast as well, where she dives more into her business and her and what she does to help companies grow. So definitely we'll have all of her contact information and all that good stuff inside of the show notes because she's fantastical. So you definitely want to connect with her and meet her. I adore her. I adore you. I think you're
Right
amazing.
back at
Yeah,
you.
we have so much great energy.
I
As
know.
soon as I met you, your energy was like, she's my girl, my girl. My girl's in the house. Yeah, so because I'm literally I shared with you, single mom, I want to travel, I want to do all the things, and you're doing it, you're making it happen. And I'm just so inspired by you. So thank you for being you and sharing your message and just you out in the world. And you're being seen and you're being heard and you're empowering others to do the same through your messaging. So I
Oh,
thank
wait,
you.
I remember I didn't answer a question. I know you're going to wrap up. You said, how did I make it happen? Like something in Italy or my dream?
Mm.
I told everyone and their mother and their cousins what I was going to do because I wanted to hold myself accountable. Like
That
I
is
said,
a
I can't
big
back. I
deal.
had a window where I could have backed out of my trip and finances and logistics, it would have been easy to. But
Yeah.
because everybody knew I was going, I had to go. So I'm just
Yeah.
telling you, sometimes it's good to have the world hold you accountable.
Yeah, no, that's so good. And I'm glad you said it because there's another guest we just had on too. And you all might be back to back, which is just literally right, driving this idea home. She told everybody she was building a real estate empire. She's like, I'm building my empire. And her husband was like, why are you telling people that? Like he was embarrassed. And she's like, no, I'm a real estate empire mogul. And she literally told people that. And within 7 years, she's multi-million dollars running real estate empire. She's built it, and she was in the health and healthcare. She was a doctor, and now she's helping people do that. So declaring it, getting embarrassed, telling people, and stepping out of your comfort zone will hold you accountable, and it also lets the world know like they're up and coming. This is happening. And she also shared that because she would walk into banks and say, I'm building my empire. And she would ask questions and they wanted to get on board, even though she had nothing. They
All
wanted to get
energy.
on board to build that empire. So like you had people cheering for you for your
Yeah.
trip and
Yeah.
celebrating you. Yeah, that's super, super key. So thank you for sharing that. Okay. So Linda, I have a couple questions for you. What's some behind the scenes about Linda that we wouldn't know, maybe a fun fact about you that we wouldn't know by seeing you on your website or checking you out on social media?
Most people are like, what? So I went to one of those fancy elite private colleges, an Ivy League college, and I was an art history major. And I don't know if I told this story on the other podcast. And I looked around as we were graduating, and I was in school with future lawyers and future doctors and future Wall Street people, and I'm a history major. So what was I going to do? So I opened up the newspaper, dating myself, and I circled the ad that said chimney sweeps wanted because I wanted to get my hands dirty and I wanted to figure out what I was supposed to be when I grow up. And I got hired as a chimney sweep. And even though I'm afraid of roofs and heights, I scaled roofs, icy roofs in New England. I swept, cleaned, I repaired chimneys. And I got bit by the entrepreneurial bug because I helped expand that chimney sweep company into 3 states within about 2 years. So by following just sort of like this crazy, I'm just going to get my hands dirty, that was the start of my entrepreneurial path. So that's something that's really old and really bizarre.
That's incredible. I think that's the best story I've heard on this
And I
podcast
honestly,
so
I
far.
think, I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing I might be the only Ivy League graduate who's ever been a chimney sweep.
I would say, yeah, I would venture to say
Yeah,
like that could be a Guinness World Record, like
I'm thinking. Yeah,
holder right there. Maybe we should
yeah.
contact them. That's pretty cool. Ivy League graduate and a chimney sweep.
What's funny, when people come to clean or repair my chimney, I'm like, mm-hmm. And they're like, wait, what? Why do you know about this? Like, well, I
You're
know
like,
here.
you cut the corners there. And
Yeah,
they're like, "No,
yeah.
you didn't do that." I love that. And I'm afraid of heights. So
Me
right
too.
there, that put me in a sweat knowing that you were on a roof
And I don't know if you all know, New England roofs are like this
deep,
because the snow has to come off.
icy.
Not like this. It's like this.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like now I'm even more blown away. Like that's crazy. Chimney sweep and Ivy League graduate. Best story ever.
And
Okay, so I
AI,
have
like, go
one more
figure.
question for you. And for you all listening, she did not share that. I usually ask my guests, please don't tell me because I want to be blown away. I want to be as surprised when you're hearing it as you are. I want to be as surprised as my listeners are. So yeah, I had no idea, and that's so cool. Chimney sweep. I just thought of Mary Poppins. Like that's the
Yeah,
first thing
exactly.
that came.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't wear a top hat, but I
yeah.
had the boots
Did
and
you
the whole nine
dance
yards.
and do all the stuff?
We
Do
had
they
fun.
really? So my last question for you, Linda, is if you could have lunch with anybody and spend time with anyone, who would it be? They could be deceased or alive. Who would it be and why?
It'd be Elizabeth Gilbert who wrote Eat, Pray, Love
Okay.
because she inspired me. And she continues, I don't know if you follow her journey, she continues to break boundaries of what it's supposed to be a woman and what's allowed and what her challenges are. And I just love her. Yeah. Maybe, you
Wow.
know what? I think I'm going to meet her someday. How
You
about that?
are. We're going to make that happen. If anybody's listening, we've done this a couple times where I'm like, if you know this person, please let us know. So that's the goal of the podcast. And maybe we can start having, oh, another thing would be let's have these people on the show. How great would that be? We could do maybe a group Zoom and have lunch together.
Ah,
See, so many things, magic's happening. We're going
yep,
to make it happen. We're
yep.
throwing it out in the universe like Linda has shared. And we're going to say that we're having Elizabeth come to the show or even just hook her up with Linda. We're going to make that happen. So if any of you listening knows Elizabeth, send her a note, let her know, put this little podcast in her ear and say, hey, Linda wants to meet you. I'd love to meet you too. Just throwing it out
Right.
there.
Yeah.
So yeah, so cool, Linda. Thank you so much. Is there anything before we wrap up that you'd like to share that I didn't get to ask you or we didn't touch on?
Just ladies, you have it. Be kind to yourself, and we're all in this together.
Yeah. Yeah. I like that. Be kind to yourself and we're in this together. We're better together. So
Definitely.
if you know of anybody that would glean a lot of insight and big gold nuggets from this episode, please share Linda in this episode with them. If you're watching us on YouTube, thank you. Please hit that subscribe button. That helps us notify you when we have amazing women like Linda on the show. If you're listening to us on your favorite podcast platform and you can hit that 5-star review, I'm going to start being shameless on this
Good.
podcast. Please hit that 5-star review. I have
Yes.
never asked for that really on this
Yes.
podcast. Please do it because we get to help more women be seen, be heard, and empower them to do so. This is the era of the woman. It's here, it's coming, and no matter what space you're in, the world needs you. And we're better together. We're here. We should be raising each other up, not behind the scenes nitpicking or picking on why does she want that. Go raise the bar, celebrate each other, and let's raise each other up. So Linda, thank you for being such a powerhouse and such an inspiring voice on our podcast today. I'm so grateful for your time and
Thank you,
appreciative of
Heidi.
you. So thank you.
Thank you for your efforts. I know this is no small effort what you're doing. So deep gratitude.
Thank you. And thank you for listening to Linda and I. We appreciate you. Please share her and this episode with more women in the world. And we will see you on the next episode of the Be She podcast. In the meantime, be empowered to be seen and heard and go after your dreams.